This is the Aftermarket Radio Network. Hey everybody, Carm Capriato, the Auto Repair Podcast Pioneer. How are you? Remarkable Results Radio. A lot going on. The beginning of in the first quarter of this year, we're going to be out doing an awful lot of conferences, doing a lot of speaking engagements and some keynotes. Of course, on the rise of the mechanical and technology specialist. I hope you get a chance to hear it or see it. And if not, we've got the podcast episodes to support that. And also, if you're not on our newsletter, our insider newsletter, please get on it. Appreciate that. You find that on our website. Hey, take your auto care center to the next level, the gold level, with the NAPA Auto Care Gold Certified Program. This program is for the best of the best who can provide a consistent consumer experience and earn the trust of returning and new customers. Talk to your NAPA sales representative about how you can become a gold certified shop. Hey, did you know that NAPA Tracks has on-site training plus 6 days a week support? It all starts when a local representative meets with you to learn about your business and how you run it. After all, it's your shop, so it's your choice. Let us prove to you that Tracks is the single best shop management system in the business. Find NAPA Tracks on the web at napatracs.com. Also, thanks to aftermarketmanagementnetwork.com for information that can help you move your business ahead, and for the free and informative laborratetracker.com. I'd like to welcome Krystal Zellmer. Hello, Krystal.
Hello, Carm. Excited to be back.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you wanting to make this commitment to our industry, because there's this. You have a brilliant way of, I think, helping all of us become better leaders and deal with a lot of the stuff that's gooey and soft inside of our business. How you like that word, gooey? So many of us have come up through the incredible ranks of having been either a mechanical or technology specialist working in the business and saying, hey, I can do this and start a business. And that hurdle that gets you to own an incredibly great, profitable, successful business comes with more challenges than I think many people understand. We talk a lot about building a better morale, improve productivity, building a strong culture. And the minute we get to that culture thing, it's tough. I can't touch it. And I go to leadership conferences and I try to become a better leader, but I can't seem to get my culture going in the right way. How do I engage my people? And I fell in love with your word enrollment. So this whole episode is about the power of enrollment, getting your people on your team. And it is ongoing. It's not set it and forget it. It's ongoing, right?
Absolutely it is.
I just can't wait to talk about it. So if you want to build yourself a great team and culture, please stick around, listen to this. And I want to encourage you to listen to other stuff that Krystal has done for you. A great episode, The Cost of Wanting to Be Right, Finding Balance in Business and Life. We did that in December. You did one with Dave Shadeen, Actionable Tips for Enhancing Self-Awareness, which a lot of this is all about.
Absolutely.
So, Krystal Zellmer, the power of enrollment, getting your people on your team. She is the vice president at Zellmer, and it's a leadership and character development company. She's the daughter of the founder. How cool is that?
Yes, I am. Legacy work.
Yeah, let's jump in. Why invest yourself in, quote, quote, enrollment?
From my perspective, everything is about enrollment. I don't know anything that's not about enrollment. And enrollment also could be called sales. I think that there's an intricate difference. A lot of the people, like if I asked, how many of you believe you're in sales? Some of you might go, no, I'm not in sales. And some of you might raise your hand strongly. And I'm going to suggest that everyone is in sales, because sales is simply communicating in such a way that you cause action. Well, all of us do that. Like if you've ever gone on a date, you made a sale. Right? You either got somebody to ask you out or you got somebody to say yes. Either way, you made a sale. You ever got married? Big sale, right? Problem with most marriages is the same as most sales. People forget to service the sale they made in the first place. Like that's it.
I love that. I just had a aha moment. You failed to service the sale. Oh my God, that's great.
You made in the first place. And we're all in sales. If you've ever gotten your child to do their homework when they didn't want to, you made a sale. And specifically in this industry, like if you've ever had somebody that you saw a need in their vehicle that they didn't see, and you enrolled them into the process of getting that fixed, you made a sale. So there's so many different ways of sales. And there's also Sales in terms of enrollment. So sales is communicating in such a way that you cause action. Enrollment is getting people to do what it is you want them to do, but for their reasons. And that's where people get, I think, a lot tripped up. That's our company's definition of enrollment. A lot of people think that sales or enrollment has to be pushy, or it has to be in your face, or it's shoving something down somebody's throat. And true enrollment actually has nothing to do with any of that.
Krystal just said they want to do it because they're bought in.
Yes, that's the key to enrollment.
They want to do it because they end up believing in you and what you're saying. Everybody on your team may not make the cut as you move forward, but you're selling to them your vision, what the company is about, what we do for our clients, what we do for each other. Not everybody's going to hang around, but you're selling them, they're buying and owning. You sold them something, and they're all bought in. Enrollment.
And the way the best leaders do it, in my experience, is less about what they tell people to do and more about what people watch you do as a leader, and they fall into that rhythm, right? So it's one thing to talk about personal responsibility. It's another thing for the people in your organization to watch you show up in personal responsibility and then want to emulate that behavior because it's company culture.
Wow. Little mini clones.
Yes.
I mean, think about it. I mean, you walk into a business that's got that thing going on, that culture, that caring.
Yeah.
You see the team almost walking in unison. It's like a chorus line.
It is. And true culture, you almost don't even have to ask what the culture of an organization is, because you'll know whether or not that's the actual culture of the organization based on whether or not that's what you observe.
So this is true enrollment. And it seems to me that this could be the quintessential episode. He says, well, listen, I know I got to build a great culture. Okay, go out and listen to the episodes. But if you want to know how to do it, this seems like the episode that teaches, and hopefully we'll get into some more details on the fact that it's not going to work for everyone. Oh, by the way, when you said selling, hiring someone
is absolutely a sale.
Yeah, you sold someone
To work for you.
And if you're sitting across from a hiring an employer, you're selling. If you want this place, if you want this job, if you want this team, if you want this opportunity, you're not going to overbearing sell, but you're going to talk about you. And when you talk about you, you're selling.
Absolutely. Are people bought into you enough to hire you? And are you bought into the person you're talking to enough to hire them? And then I think this is where alignment gets into it. I think a lot of the times people can present their best selves in an interview on either side of the table. And can you actually live out who you presented in the interview day in, day out in the position you're in?
Totally agree. When we've done shows on this, you've hired somebody and they didn't make it 2 months later. You may have bought a bill of goods. They may have sold you a bill of goods, or this person really literally was a column loaner, wasn't going to be a team player. And a lot of times you think you can see it in an interview and sometimes you can't, which is why assessments are so important. And I don't think you hire a person after a half-hour interview. I just don't think you do.
Yeah. And then there's also I'm a personal responsibility junkie. If you could be a junkie for a quality or character trait, for me, it's personal responsibility. And then I go and I look at I chose. So how did I show up in the interview? How did I show up in the first week that they were on the job? How did I communicate with this individual? What were the choices I made? How did I choose to lead them? What were they following? What was the vision? Because personal responsibility, to me, most people think is a zero-sum game. I don't think it's a zero-sum game at all. I think I'm 100% responsible. You're 100% responsible. But my responsibility will never liberate or excuse you. It's only going to do that for me.
Krystal, that's a huge statement. You're a personal responsibility junkie.
Junkie, yeah.
You're basically saying that whatever misstep the business has done, it's on you.
100% of the time. I want it that way because then I have the power to change it.
But if it's successful, your ego shouldn't own it. The team should own it. So how do you got to have that we, not me thing going too.
Totally. Which is part of personal responsibility in my experience. I'm going to own the choices I made, and I'm also going to allow you to own the choices you made. And for me, true leadership is humility is huge. And I desire the people on my team. There's some famous quotes that when they get there, they say, I did it myself. And that there's this beautiful dance that happens in that. Because when I say I'm personally responsible, I'm not saying fault, blame, any of that. I'm saying I made and had choices that affected the end game of the situation.
Okay, let's talk about not being so tough on yourself, because we are going to make mistakes. We're human. We make them every day. And so the whole personal responsibility thing. So maybe you had a couple of stumbles this month. How do you deal with that as an individual and not get yourself, I don't want to say the word depressed, but down on the fact that you made some missteps? How do you get over that?
So from our perspective as an organization, personal responsibility has nothing to do with fault, blame, or shame. Just not even in the same category. But a lot of people won't take personal responsibility because they're in fault, blame, guilt, shame, whatever that thing is. And my dad used to say all the time, people choose to feel guilty because it's easier to feel guilty than it is to change. And most people will fall into this, I just don't know what to do different. I'm just so bad, because there's in that, not consciously people are doing that, but there's a subconscious thing that goes, well, if I feel bad enough, then the situation is excused, right? When in reality, all that does is steal energy that you would have had to solve the problem, because you're investing it in feeling bad about the problem.
And again, please remember, and you know this, our industry is the auto repair service industry. And so many of us didn't come from corporate America. So many of us just came from the grassroots of loving to repair vehicles.
So cool. Because you have passion about what you're doing.
Absolutely. And now I have to be a CEO and a leader and a builder of great teams and culture, and love my clients to death and market to them and go on videos and tell them how cool our company is and these cool, neat discoveries. So many of the things that they have to do over here are uncomfortable for them. And so many of the things in the leadership realm, Krystal, that we're here talking about, that you've been on the show, is way uncomfortable for them.
Yeah.
You want me to enroll my people in my vision? Wow. I'm not even sure I know what it is. But I come to work every day. They do follow me. They hear me talk about a few things. We say, hey, I got an idea. Let's try this. You got to take the entire team and be on that. And if not, it's going to fail, which is where I think wait a minute. I got to enroll my people in this idea. It goes back to this incredible word called enrollment. I love this.
It's so good. And the key factor to enrollment is what's in it for them. You want to effectively enroll any human being on the planet. And the number one thing that you are looking to find is what's in it for them. What do they want? What do they want to be more? What do they want to be different? What do they want to be better? What do they want? What's in it for them? And sometimes that's a really clear-cut thing. Client comes to your place of business, what they want is their car to function and run properly, right? That's a pretty clear want. Well, when you're working with your people internally, that want could be much less clear. When you're asking questions of people, when you're actually curious about your people, when you care about your people, and that doesn't have to take a long time. And I get it, it sounds soft to care about your people. I get that. I'm talking if you know that your people want a fun work environment, okay, then you've got some joy to build on here. If you know that your people want stability in their profession and in their career, okay, now you have their why. Once you start finding out what's in it for them, what's important to them, what the driver is for them, now you can work with delivering that thing through your vision and your culture. Now they know why it matters to them.
I get it. I love what you just said. I worry a little bit that in small businesses, we discover a problem in a process at our counter. I've got a team in the production facilities, in the bays, doing their thing. They've got their processes, procedures. We all know what each other's are. And something at the front counter needed to be changed. And I say, okay, team, let's do this. Without regurgitating the why, that we have to do this without enrolling the people in the back saying, I just would love to let you know in our weekly huddle, we made this change up front. You need to be all on the same team and why we made this change and how critically important it is. So here's the think. If you're making change without enrolling the team in the why and in the global reasoning for doing it, you're going to start having all these fragmented evolves that are going on.
You're cutting off all the tops of the weeds, but you're not pulling any of the roots.
Yes.
And they're just going to sprout up and look different.
The NAPA Now event is a national ownership workshop for our valued AutoCare members centered around business building training from industry leaders. Now, it's not just about owning a shop, it's about owning your future. Join NAPA April 15th through the 17th, 2025 at the Venetian Resort in the heart of Las Vegas, known for its vibrancy, energy, and entrepreneurial spirit. At the event, ignite growth through business building masterclasses from leaders across multiple industries focused on expanding business opportunities. Now, masterclass topics include future-proofing your business, mastering emerging technologies for growth, leadership dynamics, inspiring, engaging, and driving success, shifting tides, understanding evolving consumer behaviors and your bottom line, and young leaders' lasting legacies, mastering succession planning for future growth. Foster collaboration with other like-minded NAPA AutoCare members and store owners. Stop at supplier studios for training, visit AutoCare vendor partners, and finally, join us in celebrating 100 years of NAPA Auto Parts, along with kicking off the next 100 years of partnership. There will also be exclusive giveaways. There are many incentive opportunities to offset the cost of this trip, including AutoCare program earnbacks, and beginning in October, earn up to $1,500 with pre-show supplier training to prepare for the supplier studio training sessions. The NAPA Now event is a national ownership workshop for our valued AutoCare members centered around business building training from industry leaders. Now, it's not just about owning a shop, it's about owning your future. Join NAPA April 15th through the 17th, 2025 at the Venetian Resort in the heart of Las Vegas, known for its vibrancy, energy, and entrepreneurial spirit. Get ready to grow, connect, and celebrate. This is an exclusive event limited to the first 2,000 AutoCare members. Packages are going fast. If you're interested in attending, contact your servicing NAPA store or NAPA salesperson. Let's face it, your shop management system is the single most important tool in your shop, period. NAPA Trax was built from the ground up to make your business more profitable and efficient. We provide an extensive set of tools to increase and track profitability in real time. NAPA Trax offers the industry's best post-sale support, hands down, and we train your people on site. Yep, on site. And we offer remote refresher training 10 times a week, and customer support is open 6 days a week. Give us a call, visit the website, or join our Facebook community today to learn more. We'll prove to you that Trax is the single best shop management system in the business. NAPA Trax is always customized and tailored for you, whether you're a one-man shop or a large multi-bay or multi-location company. After all, it's your shop, so it's your choice. Visit us on the web at NAPATRAX, that's NAPATRACS.com. So it's always great to get tips or ideas that you can call your own. At AutomotiveManagementNetwork.com, a favorite feature for many members is short and to the point, real-world ideas for your shop. At Automotive Management Network, they serve up over 365 tips to cover a year's worth of ideas that you can use to improve yourself and your company. Get a ton of great stuff at AutomotiveManagementNetwork.com, the creators of LaborRateTracker.com, the industry's only resource for labor rate info. Let's get into a little bit of how you could be a better enroller. And again, is it active listening? Are we making decisions with the team? Help me. Okay, I'm in. I bought in. How can I do this?
If you're bought in, which is the first thing, right? It's like, even in this, the conversation is, why would you be enrolled in enrollment in the first place? This whole conversation is leading up to what's in it for you. What's in it for you is actively getting more of the culture you say you want. What's in it for you is longevity of employees on your team. What's in it for you is happier customers. What's in it? Like, those are the things that are in it for you. The other side of it is me going, tips on how to be a better enroller. So we train in what we call the value cycle, or the ultimate sales formula, or the ultimate enrollment formula. It's want, problem, solution. Want, problem, solution. Most people start at the end, and this formula only works in order. Most people want to jump to, there was a problem at the front desk. Here's the solution. Here's how you fix it. Here's the thing. The first thing to do when you're really working to enroll an individual is to start with the want. Find out what they want. You were at the counter and a customer got angry. Is that what you want? Or what do you want? You want these things to flow easier. You want the systems to process better. You want to go through your whole day and not have any angry customers. What do you want, right? You're in a want conversation. What's the problem? Now you allow them to identify the want. Once you know what somebody wants, then you can move on to, okay, so what do you think the problem is in getting there? Great. Now we're in the problem. The problem is we don't have a clear system. The problem is it wasn't clearly defined. The problem is people are walking in and they're just abrupt. Okay, now we've got the problem. Here's a solution. Now, instead of throwing a solution at somebody that they may or may not be bought into at all, because you don't have their enrollment into using the solution in the first place, it's an instruction, but it's not something they desire to use. You're now flipping it and you're going, okay, here's what's in it for you. Here's your want. Then we identified the problem. Here's the solution. I used the example of the front desk. This is anything. You bring on a new hire, you have culture, okay, so now we're pulling in, let's just talk about culture, which is kind of where the episode started. We say we want a culture of personal responsibility for everybody on our team. That's the value, because we just used it here. It's an easy example. Let's say that that's the value that we're asking our entire team to operate within in terms of our company culture. Why would they want to do that in the first place? Let's talk about what you want. Then asking open-ended questions, being a great listener, being curious, getting in with people. Now you're going to begin to find out what the things are that people want on your team.
I can summarize this in my mind with, you are not responsible for each and every decision. You're not the answer man.
Yes.
Because it's not what I want. It's what they want. It's not my problem. It's our problem. And it's our solution. Because that goes to the buy-in.
Yep. And when people believe that they actually have control or autonomy in certain positions, people really do thrive on that kind of responsibility when they know they're trusted, when they know they're held capable, I think everybody wants that at some level, or at least the people you want on your team want that at some level. Then you get to work with those people on how do you enroll them in the vision of the culture, and then give them healthy autonomy to make some choices, and then revisit it as it's working and it's not working, and in terms of what's next.
I think of ownership here, that you've got to give ownership of these solutions to the team, even if it's a team of 3 or a team of 30. If I had a chance to contribute something to a final solution, I may not agree with everything that was done, but I've got a piece of it. I keep writing down the word enroll. I keep writing it down, that if you approached the want, the problem, solution, your job is to discover the want, find the problem, create the solution. But if enroll was the umbrella over all of this, then enroll in my mind is groupthink, not singular. Enroll. I just walked into a crowd and it says, I'm enrolling you to be on my 4K team. We're going to go out and do a race. I'm here to enroll you in believing of this particular thought that I have. I'm so bought into this thing that I think the next time I think about wanting to get a point across, do my keynote, I walk on stage and I say, I'm here to enroll this audience in this whatever. Think, concept, belief, life change, enroll.
Absolutely. And when people are truly enrolled, they want to do it for their reasons. That's the key difference, because you can get a we. You can get people to come to a place of we. Now, they might be doing, well, yeah, it's our. And there's a difference between, oh, it's ours, meaning I got an instruction to do this for, versus when they're enrolled, when you truly enroll somebody, now they want to do it because they have a deep desire to do it because they know what's in it for them. And now they function differently within the task than they do when they're told what to do.
Where's the why figure in here?
Everything comes down to why, doesn't it? It's a topic that is so discussed on the interwebs. Find your why, start with why, be in the why, because it's phenomenal. And I think people have missed, for me, people have missed that it's less about, and my why is important. What really makes this leadership is when you're so driven as a leader to find other people's why. And when you're finding their why and you're able to feed what their deep dream desire why is, when you take my why for starting the company in the first place, and now I've hired a team of people and I know their why, and we're walking, all of our whys are different. They come into the center point where this shop is a vehicle to serve their why. Now you have a level of synergy that you just don't have when you don't have people's why.
Well, you've got a team of, say, 8 to a dozen people, and you know each individual's why. Not only their life why and their out of work why, their family, their goals, their desires, but if you walk up into an individual who just loves to do transmission work, love to do engine work, loves to be electronics wizard and diagnostics and a lot, work with technology. And you know that about these people? As the captain of the ship with the wheel in your hands, you can help make decisions, maybe not for the short term, but for the long term to get these individuals in their, I classify that as a comfort zone.
100%. And you take that person and you go, I get it. You love transmissions and this is your thing. That's what's in it for you. If we can, with more ease, leverage our system at the front desk, you get to have more hands on more transmissions for more time. Can you work with me on implementing this system so that you get your hands on more transmissions?
Do you see yourself doing this for a long term? And I think one of the things that happens in our world is we look at an individual who's so talented in one particular thing. They're so good at it, but they may not necessarily want to do it for long term. They want to come to work for you. Well, I'm going to be here. Maybe I'll be here for 30 years. Who knows? Don't want to do transmissions for 30 years, even though technology evolves and things happen. I get all that. Their body hurts. There's a lot of things. What's their training commitment? What are they going to do to be continuing to learn about all the new stuff? You cannot just say, yeah, go.
And if we're talking about really enrolling your best team, I would always hire on character over talent. 100 times out of 100, I'd hire on character over talent because you as shop owner have a lot of skills and talents. That's why you started here in the first place. You hire somebody on character, their character will drive them to learn the skills you have. You leave a legacy. It's easier to teach talent than it is to teach character. Can you teach character? For somebody who's willing, I think you can. And at the end of the day, if you hired on character, that person's going to stick with you because they want to learn your skill set.
I keep thinking of competence versus character, and it just kind of rolled through me. And I wonder how many times we let people go, a toxic employee, because of competence or character. And I believe it's probably more to the character side. Person didn't fit in. And it's okay to make a mistake like that because we can be, quote, quote, sold. I get that part. But maybe our enrollment or our orientation to the company, maybe we didn't do it well.
And character is the only thing that lasts. So eventually that's going to bubble to the surface, regardless of how talented the person is. Isn't it Simon Sinek that does the whole thing on, I think it's Navy SEALs and how they hire? And it's like, there's this diagram on high trust, low trust, high talent, low talent. And that's really, I think, what that conversation comes down to is if somebody's high talent, low trust, and you really need them in a team environment, and any corporation is a team, then eventually you're going to hit a spot where your most talented person, if they're the least trusted, will actually not be able to perform at their greatest talent.
And that happens in our industry all the time. I need a really good person to do this. And we find that machine. We find it, that human machine that can do exactly what we want. But there's a thundercloud over the area that they work in.
Yeah. And then you just get, as the person doing the enrolling, I just get to be aware of what I'm walking into. And is the thundercloud the thing that I am willing to invest my energy in to leverage the skills that they bring? And is that person at all open to change? Do they want anything different, or are they totally happy with the trajectory of high talent thundercloud?
Well, are we acknowledging the contributions that our team players do enough?
I don't think there isn't enough.
Let's talk about, in that regard, Krystal, holding relationships with your people. There's a lot of people that say, listen, it's all about work relationships. I don't want to get mushy. I don't want to get too far off board. And I have seen some incredible culture where the owner knows everything about family, all the desires. The person wants to buy a motorcycle. They put the picture up on the toolbox so you can see it every day. Is there a line you can't cross when it comes to understanding full relationships?
Gosh, this is so good. Something that I think, a paradigm that I fully believe is like, I don't think you can do that right. And I don't think you can do that wrong. And every leader is going to have a different natural proclivity to how intertwined they are with their team. And don't make yourself wrong if you're not somebody who's super sensitive, XYZ. Now, the other side of me goes, it's fine to have a natural proclivity, but if you as the leader are not working to shift that thing, then you can't really expect the people on your team to be shifting either. If there is a corporate environment and everybody agrees, we just do business, we have zero relationship outside of work, and that's what everybody on your team wants, great. You'll probably hire people that want more distance. Just don't expect then on the other side that those same people are going to treat you like family, because you've been very clear that it is work. There's prices and benefits to that. Now, the other side of that is I think a lot of us actually want to work. I think people are tribal, and at the core level, a lot of us want to spend our 40 hours plus a week with people that we care about and that care about us. I think that that's a very basic human thing. So to maybe be a little more open to, as much as work is work and family is family, maybe there's space for I care about you, you care about me. And it doesn't have to be soft and overly sensitive and all of those things. But if I'm invested in like actually caring about the people that I spend that much time, like I actually care, not just pretend to care. I actually care. I care about their family. I care about their overarching success. Then there's a whole different relationship aspect to come into. And some people are more task driven, and that's totally okay. But can you shift to a different gear of your personality to meet those people where they're at instead of just doing what's natural for you as a leader?
I guess, well, first of all, we're not corporate. We're small business. We've been told a lot, don't get involved because it could get ugly. But in the understanding of what's going on, that stuff comes to work. I think you mentioned that. That stuff comes to work. And again, it could have been sunny today over this individual, but now it's cloudy or a thundercloud, because there is so much going on in people's lives today.
So much.
So much. Let's say that, so much.
So it's overwhelming to think about all the things that are going on for people in any given. It really can be.
Just knowing so many people that I know, and then to hear, oh my God, this happened and that happened and that happened. I'm thinking, how is the world dealing with all of this stuff and still running great lives, loving their families, their spouses? It's amazing. There's a perspective that we have to put things in. And I think the word enrollment, you can buy into the struggles that people are having on a personal basis, and then trying to move the business, keep the business going, moving forward, even though there are some bricks that have lost their mortar. And is it my job to help keep those bricks in line by giving the individual time off, maybe counseling, maybe there are things, if you're going to develop a great culture, well, I guess if you got a great culture, they're going to come to you and say, hey, boss, something's going on. I need to tell you, because they're willing to share and to have you understand what's going on in their world instead of you having to try to guess why their performance is so poor.
And sympathy is different than empathy. If you've really built the culture you say you have, not only are they going to come to you, and I have the honor of working with the most incredible team on the planet. I truly believe that. Our team If there's anything that I feel like my business partner and I have done well, it's that the people on our team are exceptional in their own rights, and they choose to offer their times, their gift, their talent in alignment with our vision. I could not say more about that. They don't come to us for sympathy. They do come for empathy and compassion, and not expecting us to change anything. But hey, here's what's going on in my life. It's highly affecting me. I'm taking personal responsibility for it. I'm not asking for time off. And I want you to have an understanding of what's going on behind the scenes. Okay, well, now I can check in on them. Now I can go, hey, that last front desk experience was uncharacteristic of who I believe you to be. Generally, you have more peace, you have more patience, you have more this, and you kind of popped off quick. What's going on? You just have more awareness. You have more ability to respond. That's what personal responsibility is. The ability to respond instead of react. Well, not only are you reacting as a leader, when really what we want to aim to do is respond, your people are also reacting in day-to-day situations when what you want them to do is respond. Well, all that undercurrent is, do we have understanding? And when you have an understanding and people know that you care about them, they want to. I just believe this about people. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. I believe people genuinely want to be better. They do. People want happiness, success, joy, peace, love. They want to feel successful in their career. They want to know they're doing a good job. They want to feel valuable. They want to feel seen. They want to feel heard. They want to feel capable. And if I can meet them in leadership there and have a base level understanding of what's going on in their life, then we can work together, which is enrollment, to make the situation enhanced.
Totally moved by all the great stuff you're talking about. One of the big takeaways from the last few minutes was the word undercurrent.
I'm big on undercurrent this year.
And you also said toughing through. And I'm repeating these because this is real world. And it doesn't matter what kind of business, if it's small, if it's a bakery, if it's an automotive repair shop, people are toughing through. In our industry, Krystal, we are making more measurements on productivity, efficiencies, and we're starting to listen to phone calls that come in from clients. We're using AI to listen, to establish, to reason, to figure out if I was cordial, did I ask for the appointment and all that stuff. And if we have this undercurrent going on in our world and we're toughing through our issues, those KPI measurements that business is looking at, it says, hey, you really had a bad week. What's going on? Maybe to your point is, listen, tell the boss that you've just had a mother-in-law go into the hospital and, we've got a babysitter issue where all these things that are going on, there's so much weight at home. I want to let you know that it may not be a perfect world for me because the phone's ringing and I'm carrying that with me.
And then if you've trained your people well in personal responsibility, it's not feel bad for me because my situation stinks right now. It's I'm giving you an awareness so that you can hold me accountable because I want to be better. And right now, I don't have it. And that meeting in the middle of now the boss has an understanding or an awareness of why without the employee going, I have an excuse to not show up.
Yeah, tell your people not to hide it. Let me know so that I can help in certain ways, or at least I have an understanding. In your mind, you're saying, this was my superstar rock star. What's going on all of a sudden?
What's going on? And most people won't just ask the question from compassion and empathy. Most people go, your KPIs, let's shift, right? But instead of going, this isn't what I'm used to, and I believe in you, what's going on? When you enter into it with the assumption of goodwill and empathy, you actually at some level dictate the response you're going to get. Because if I come in guns blazing that their results stink, guess what? If I show up ready to throw down, then they're going to be defensive on the return. And they probably won't even tell me that their mother-in-law's in the hospital because they don't think I think the best of them. Take a different posture. That's the enrollment we're back to enrollment. If I actually want them to come to me with the things that are burdening them, then I get to show up as somebody who's empathetic and willing to shoulder a burden, not somebody who's demanding something.
We could go on for hours.
We totally could.
But before I let you go, I want to talk about understanding communication styles with people. And if you're going to sit and have a discussion, and how importantly it is to tailor your communication to the person, their communication styles. Give us a few minutes on that. I think it would be a great bow on this episode.
Absolutely. There's so many great places to go do personality training, just communication styles, personality training. And I think they're all great for their own reasons. So we do aversion, DISC, there's tons, right? Go find something to find out how your people communicate and to find out how you communicate, because your communication style is literally driving how you speak and how you hear, your verbal communication and your nonverbal communication. And it is impacting every relationship you have. If I can get a good understanding on how somebody else on my team communicates on automatic, are they formal or informal? Are they dominant or flow with? If I can get some basic understanding of how they communicate, then when I'm coming to them, I shift, not them. They're communicating on automatic. If I am the one with the information, then I come in and I shift with them. Are they somebody whose number one driver is information? Okay. And my number one driver is task. Okay. If I come in with my task and I slam down to go task first with somebody who's relationship first, we're going to miss the mark every single time. They're going to have hurt feelings and I'm going to be ticked off because the task didn't get done. Once you're in whatever realm it is, come to our training, go to a different training, find out where your people operate from on automatic, and then shift to communicate with them. Watch everything improve. Now, my business owners might be going, why do I have to shift? They're my people. They work for me. Shouldn't they shift? Yeah, but they're not the one with the information and they don't want the thing to change. You do. That's why you change. That's leadership.
You've got to have their conversation, not yours.
Yes, every single time.
I have on my downloads page on my website, I have this really cool disc chart, and it's about selling. It's about trying to serve clients. Depending on if you're a task person, how do you have a discussion with a relationship person? And I remember having years and years ago, went to, an all day or a couple of days seminar on DISC, got a textbook on it, studied it. And I made this really cool chart. I don't know if it was in the book or I pulled it away. It had a lot of downloads. It's on my downloads page. Get it. Because I think it, not only in the sales environment, it'll help you in normal people relationships.
And just like, if I can leave with any, I'm the personal development junkie. Here we are. And sometimes people take tools that we talk about in personal development and then they use them as weapons towards other people. And I don't think that people do that consciously. I think the underlying is, oh, well, you're just a relationship person, so I get to communicate with you different. Hey, this is not working. It weaponizes something that was meant to be used. It's like, we've talked a lot this episode about personal responsibility. If I show up and I go, well, I'm just willing to take personal responsibility on this one, and clearly you're not there yet. And I get that people don't do that on purpose, but we've all seen it happen where people become self-righteous in their self-awareness. My hope for anybody listening to an episode like this is the only person you can change is you. I'm not here to change anybody else. I'm here to change me. But I believe when I change me, other people will want to change because it's inspiring when you're living a life on purpose at peace. So I guess go out, do the communication style, do the whole, learn everything you can learn. And then instead of asking other people to do it, you do it. Don't typecast people. I think a lot of the times we get into resistance with communication pieces like DISC or Enneagram or whatever that is, because people begin to type people and categorize people and put people in a box, which I don't think was ever the intention of those systems. The actual intention is less about putting somebody in a box or saying, this is just who you are. And it's actually more about my box is keeping me from true relationship with you. So how do I actually break down the walls of that instead of creating more?
What a powerful, powerful summary. Wow. Krystal Zellmer, thank you so much. We talked about the power of enrollment. We went some places I didn't expect, and I'm so happy about that. I think we gave the audience their money's worth for sure. Vice President at Zellmer, it's a leadership and character development company. How do people get on your site? Zellmer.com?
Yeah, Zellmer.com/PM is where you're going to find what our bread and butter is. We specialize in 3-day experiential trainings that will 3 days can change your life. And if you're somebody who you're like, I want something more or I want something different, I would strongly encourage you to come check us out.
All right. I loved it. Please come back again.
Yes, always. I will forever come back.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's good.
Thanks for being on board to listen and learn from the premier automotive aftermarket podcast. Until next time.